Kaya Tuncer, Anatolian boy, international businessman, engineer. He knew every corner of this land and developed it. Now his heart beats in the running water, pulsating power, shimmering leaves, and in those who come to work here. Please welcome to the stage Kaya's wife, Mary, Kaya's granddaughter and Space Camp Turkey alumna, Sylvia Cressman, and the director of Space Camp Turkey, Scott Woodham.
Yes, good evening. Kaya was the speaker in the family. This was not something I was supposed to be doing. But I, first of all, want to thank Dr. Deborah Barnhart of the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, Charles Precourt of ATK, the sponsor of this event. Thank you for honoring my late husband, Kaya Tuncer, with his induction into the Space Camp Hall of Fame. When Space Camp first opened in June 2000, Kaya had a plaque made to put at the entrance of Space Camp Turkey. It's still there. It reads, "A gift to the youth of the world," and he signed his name under it. Kaya's success as a businessman and developer of the Aegean Free Zone gave him opportunities to do many things. What he chose to do reveals his character and what he found important. Last year, I went with a colleague to visit one of the very successful companies at the Aegean Free Zone where Space Camp is located. We went to the offices of this high-tech factory. It was made of the finest materials. There was a marble reflecting pool. The cabinets were covered with the finest Italian leather. No expense was spared. After I left, I told my colleague, or I said to her, Kaya could have had an office like that. Instead, he built Space Camp Turkey. Although Kaya created a nonprofit, the Global Friendship Through Space Education, out of necessity, in the first few years, very few kids were coming. But over the years, it has evolved into something quite wonderful. So now every summer, Space Camp Turkey offers 8 international sessions. At each six-day session, at least 5 countries are represented with 12 campers from each country. And we mix the kids up on the teams. They come in and they're divided into teams of 12. So we'll put 3 Turks, 3 Greeks, 3 Germans, we mix them all up, and the common language is English. And space is the perfect, space science, it's the perfect neutral subject to give young people from different, often opposing cultures, projects to work on, where they are no longer from a certain country, but they're a member of the Jupiter team or the Sun team. This is what global friendship is about, and it has succeeded in a way beyond what we had imagined. We've gotten incredible testimonials over the years, seeing kids from different countries keeping up friendships and breaking down barriers between people who wouldn't normally associate with each other. The Global Friendship has provided over 6,000 scholarships for young people from 30 countries over the years to these summer sessions. Scott will tell you about all the other programs Space Camp Turkey offers. Global Friendship also launched an innovative year-long program that connects school groups in Turkey and the United States, and now more recently Canada, Poland, and Italy. This is the Partner School Science Program, and I was surprised and pleasantly surprised. Mel, could you raise your hand? Mel Prater came here from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He was part of this program for how many years? 5, and he brought kids over to Space Camp Turkey for 5 summers. And if you get a chance, talk to Mel about this program. So it's called the Partner School Science Program. So the students from the partner schools, it's an American school and a Turkish school, they work all year long on projects through NASA's distance learning website via email. And when they've completed a required number of lessons, they qualify for a 3-way video conference between the 2 schools and a NASA representative. And some are able to get together at Space Camp Turkey during a special summer session called EPAL Week. I would like to thank Scott Anderson. Could you stand up? He's here tonight. Scott has played a major role in facilitating these video conferences. There's a great time difference between here, Scott's office is right here, and Turkey, sometimes California, New York, and we've had over 100 successful video conferences over the years. And to show our appreciation to Scott, we invited him to Space Camp Turkey for the past 2 summers, where he found out that he was somewhat of a celebrity. The kids would come up with their cameras asking for photos. He thought they wanted him to take a photo of them. No, they wanted a photo of him with them. Yeah. So last month, I was in Izmir in Turkey during EPAL Week at Space Camp. EPAL Week at Space Camp Turkey. The delegation from Montreal, Canada, somewhat ironic because they have their own space camp, they gave me a letter from the principal of the Children's World Academy in Montreal about the Partner School Science Program. He wrote, "We are able to offer our students an international educational experience like none other. Throughout the school year, an extracurricular program we call Space Club promotes science and space education, as well as international exchange for 25 students. This program has now become an established part of the culture of Children's World Academy. It distinguishes our school." Space Camp Turkey not only stimulates interest in math and science, it promotes friendship between young people from different countries and opens young minds to new possibilities. I am proud to continue what Kaya started and offer this often life-changing experience to the youth of the world. Thank you.
Kaya Tuncer was my grandfather. I called him Dede. Thanks to him, I have been interested in space. After attending Space Camp Turkey for the 1st time this summer, I look forward to learning more about space. I am happy to be here to see my grandfather inducted to the Space Camp Hall of Fame.
I don't know if I can beat that. Kaya really made a difference in people's lives. For me, that difference occurred in April of 1998. Kaya said, "Scott, I heard you going back to the States to look for a job." Fact of the matter, I was leaving on a jet plane just 3 hours later to do just that. "Yes, sir," I replied. "Things aren't quite working out for me here in Turkey, professionally speaking." "Well, this may interest you," Kaya remarked. "Maybe not. I'm seriously thinking about opening a space camp. It will be under license with the Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama, and I need someone to get it started." It was a flattering job offer. It was an unknown. It sounded really cool. But the skeptical side of my brain thought, a space camp in Turkey? How can that be? What in the world does Turkey have in common with launching rockets into lower Earth orbit? The more I listened to him, it was clear that Kaya had a vision, a dream, and he was determined to make it happen. Along with a modern industrial park, he wanted to establish a space camp. He wanted to give back to his country. Like the space explorers in this room, Kaya was a risk taker. He was a mega builder. I shrugged, smiled, and finally said, "This certainly sounds like a challenge, and I do look forward to challenges." "Good," Kaya replied. "I'm also thinking this could be another way to attract high-tech companies to the Aegean Free Zone, and at the same time provide educational opportunities to the young people around Turkey. Who knows? Maybe around the world." That's how the Space Camp Turkey project started. 2 years later, on June 12, 2000, Space Camp Turkey opened. Kaya's friend and Turkish-American NASA engineer Ismail Akbay was there. His brother is here tonight. Ish had been part of Dr. Braun's team at Marshall Space Flight Center and a longtime friend of the Huntsville Space Camp. Mercury astronaut Scott Carpenter was there. He was our featured speaker. Mr. Ed Mills, who worked with me on the Boeing business plan and is seated in our audience tonight, was also there. Take a bow, Ed. It was a grand opening, and everyone was fired up, ready to launch the world's newest space camp in Turkey. It was, in Kaya's words, a gift to the youth of the world. Unfortunately, the country experienced an economic crisis in 2001, which really stifled our business. We reached just half our capacity. But it was because of this setback, a revelation occurred, and Kaya and his space camp dream persevered. Kaya and his wife, Mary, said, "The heck with this. By golly, we're going to fill this camp with kids. And we'll do whatever it takes to make that happen." In 2002, they formed the nonprofit Global Friendship Through Space Education. And the Tunjers started doling out scholarships. They came, whether they were Turkish orphans, gifted children from Kazakhstan, Chinese earthquake victims, or disadvantaged American kids. There were Palestinians and Israelis, Greeks and Turks, under one roof, sharing common interests and goals. They all came. They worked together as a team, and they all had a great time. In the last 12 years, Space Camp Turkey's Global Friendship Through Space Education Foundation has provided more than 6,000 scholarships to young people from 30 countries. In recognition of his philanthropic efforts, Kaya was awarded the Ellis Island Medal of Honor in 2004. This prestigious award pays tribute to American citizens for their outstanding contributions to their own ethnic groups, their ancestral countries, and American society. Along the way, we've also had our share of successful alumni. Mr. Yunus Sazmaz graduated from MIT in electrical engineering and computer science and went to work for Oracle in the U.S. as a software engineer. Ms. Bouze Shengul became a doctor and is with the Mayo Clinic College of Medicine at Harvard. Mr. Ibrahim Halil Miralolu completed his degree in molecular biology and genetics at Istanbul Technical University. In the words of Ibrahim, that summer, going to space at Space Camp, sitting in the same shuttle seat as the smartest people at NASA, gave the most precious lesson to me in my life: to respect my dreams. I can tell you for sure that the adventure we lived in those days changed my life and my friends' lives completely. In 2010, Space Camp Turkey began making a modest profit and celebrated its status as one of only 3 space camps in the world and a premier international camp. Over the last 15 years, Space Camp Turkey has hosted 23 astronauts and cosmonauts, to include Owen Garriott's surprise appearance in 1999, Apollo 16 astronaut Charlie Duke in 2013, and most recently, Rick Linehan. Our international marketing team, led by Beth Mitchell, has connected with schools throughout the Middle East, to include United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Oman, Jordan, Qatar, Lebanon, and Israel, by offering a special customized outer space adventure program. COSA is a special package program that provides students and teachers a space camp experience, tours of archaeological and cultural sites, and the opportunity to perform community service. Our slogan is training, teamwork, and technology. Over the past 2 years, we have upgraded our facilities and curriculum to include a Space Quest exhibit, new robotics lab, Mars rover simulator, new digital planetarium, leadership development course, and double module mock-up of the International Space Station. As of today, we have hosted over 150,000 youth and adults from 55 countries. That equates to about, 50 countries. That equates to about 25% of the countries in the world. I believe Kaya would be pretty proud of that. Turkish President Abdullah Gül made the following remarks after his visit to our space camp in May of 2011. President Gül said, "I believe that Space Camp Turkey, which aims to educate youth in the space sciences with special teaching activities and to support student self-development, fulfills a very important service. I would like to congratulate Kaya Tuncer for bringing this facility to our country and extend my appreciation to his entire staff. In conclusion, I'd like to point out that Kaya had a great sense of humor when speaking before large gatherings like this. My guess is most of you have already heard this joke 1.5 million times. Nonetheless, I'd like to share one of his favorite witticisms with you. At an international gathering, Kaya would say, a Russian, an American, and Tamil, a Turk from the Black Sea area, were talking about their respective countries' achievements. Kaya would continue. The Russian boasted, "We were the first to go to space." Then the American said, "But we were the first to land on the moon." Tamil, not to be outdone, said, "Well, that's nothing. We will be the first to land on the sun." Both the Russian and the American replied, "Are you crazy? You can't go to the sun. You'll burn up." "Aha," Tamil replied. "Do you think we're crazy? We're going at night." Thank you.